I, I have a hard time judging if my neutral is great or not. I guess I kind of understand what neutral is, but also at the same time, I don't know if I'm really doing a good job at playing neutral or if I'm getting reads or.
I think, well, one thing you can do to judge your neutral, well, I guess, if I was to break it down in a couple different categories, the number one thing for me is what does your spacing and your movement look like? If every time you jump in, we're trading or you're losing, that would be partially move selection, but also your spacing can be off. So let's say, for example, if you're being, I can honestly say as far as your spacing, you've gotten a lot better, because there's been quite a few times where you have come straight down with a fair versus slightly drifted towards me. And although it's a difference of pixels, that can be the difference between good neutral and bad neutral in a lot of situations, where it's like you come down like this and you don't hit me, but you don't get hit, or you come down like this and you land on my shield and then you get hit by up B or grabbed at a shield or up smashed, right? So
Yep.
that would be the one thing. As far as decision making, a big part of your neutral too can be paying attention to how I'm trying to fight you and adjusting to that. So if I'm constantly going for rising back or rising aerials or rising fair or back air, or if I'm coming down late with like aerials like this, are you adjusting to how you can punish those things? Right? So if you're doing a rising aerials versus my landing aerials or vice versa, are you actually paying attention to that? I would say the other part too would just be like patience. Neutral in and of itself is not like you can't really sum it up as a one-liner. That makes sense. I think your overall patience has been getting better. I think if you're trying to gauge your gameplay, as far as if your neutral is getting better, you could take a look at your actual damage or not damage, the damage put on yourself, I should say, right? So your percent, how much percent are you taking? How many stocks are you losing? How off or how long are you living? That could be a huge part of it as well too. If you have good neutral, there's a very strong chance that people can barely get good punishes on you. So you're either living for a very long time, or you're taking very little damage, or you're not getting killed at all. When you're playing against better players though, so let's say if you're in a fight against any person and you say that your gauge for good neutral is getting a 3-stock against good players or someone who's better than you, very strong chance you're not going to be able to just 3-stock them for free. Or even if it's not for free, even if you sweat it out, you're probably not going to 3-stock them anyways, because you'll make a small mistake and still die for it. The other part of neutral that you can really pay attention to, as well as if you're trying to, I guess, gauge it, is how long do the games actually last when you are trying? Because if you're trying, and when I say trying, I don't mean trying to style or trying to end the game as fast as possible. I'm saying trying to stay alive. A lot of players try and win the game by killing the other person. In a lot of cases, you can also win. I'm not saying you should go for timeouts, but you can also win, right, by just trying to stay alive and assessing situations and trying to not be in bad situations on purpose or unnecessarily, I should say. So if we were to play a game and let's say you end up winning the game, but there's only like a minute left, very good chance that we both were sweating it like crazy for our neutral, right? Because we're just not getting in for free. The other person's just not making mistakes, not making huge commitments. That would be considered good neutral. Provided that, of course, you're not just sitting over here PK firing the whole time and I'm just like on the other side not engaging at all, of course. Right? If we're actually engaging in like going back and forth and it's a bit more of a, I don't know, of a duel, I guess you could say, it's a little bit more classy, more so than just mashing on each other or just running away. That can be a way of gauging it, I would say. It's not really easy. You can't like put a number or a score to say someone's neutral is this good, right? It's every single interaction coming to you organically and knowing how to assess it and then break it down so that so you're actually coming out on top, right? And each situation as well is going to be organic. Like I said, it's going to be unique. So there's lots of times I could jump in with like nair or fair or whatever, but the following mix-up, you may have no idea. So you have to assess that as it happens and then try and play around it and continuously adapt. So as long as you're doing those things, or as long as you're aware of those things, then you could say that your neutral is progressing.
I guess my other question ties into this as well.
Sure.
I've been trying to focus on getting better reads, and I've seen some of your videos where you talk about it before, but I guess I've seen some of your videos where you their option up there in text, like what their option was. Do you keep a mental counter? Do you say these things inside your own head, like, oh, he got up from stage?
Oh, 100%. I got an auctioneer going in my head when I'm playing, bro. It doesn't matter what someone does or what they're doing ever. I'm tracking everything. The only thing I'm not tracking is if someone walks or dashes or how many times they jump. Things like that I don't really track, but as far as like if someone's full hopping in neutral like this versus short hopping, I'll notice and I'll pay attention to that. Or if someone goes like this, the double jumps in front of me and that's their mix up or how they approach, I'm going to note that. If someone dashes up and then walks away, I'm going to note that. If someone likes to go like this a lot, I'm going to note that. Those are the types of things that I would note. And it's to say, okay, he's ran up and done this 4 times. pretty strong chance that that's his bait. He's either looking to space something like, let's say Marth going like this and going for like a tipper F smash. That's also, let's say if he's going for that bait, but also I know if he runs up to me, he's not going to actually try and hit me. He's going to try and get me to hit him first and potentially whiff. So if I see someone doing that air dodge, for example, I'm going to go for an F smash right where I'm standing. If I was the Nest player, I wouldn't be going for like an F smash here. I'd move up and go for like some sort of hit here, like a dash attack or something. But yeah, to sum it up a little bit more cleanly, I guess, yes, I'm tracking as much as I possibly can.
Okay.
Here's what I can say this though to try and make it a little bit easier or a little bit simpler. And this is the truth for myself too. If someone's going for landing aerials like this, I don't think, oh, he went for landing nair, then fair, then back air. I don't think that. I think he's doing landing aerials. How do you deal with landing aerials? That's what I think.
Deal.
Same thing with rising aerials. I don't think, oh, he's done rising fair 4 times and rising back air 6 times and rising nair 12 times. Like, I don't think about that. I think he's doing rising aerials as his main go-to to approach or poke.
Yeah.
Or if they're doing run up down tilt, if they're doing like dash in, dash back, turn around side B. Like if they're doing those types of things, those are the things I'm going to pay attention to and say, okay, so if he's doing like, let's say if it's Captain Falcon, he's doing dash in, dash away, turn around side B, I'm going to wait for the side B. And if he's not going to do the side B anymore and he starts to switch and go for like dash grab to try and catch me off guard, how can I beat a dash grab? Well, I can go for an empty hop, like a short hop over the dash grab. If he goes for the dash back into a side B, if I empty hop in the place where I thought he was going to grab, by the time he comes back in with the side B, if I'm in the air, I can drift back, land, and then punish his end leg. So I have ways of covering multiple options with a single option of my own. This is a lot of homework done as well, behind closed doors, whatever you want to call it. So it's not like, oh my god, Captain Falcon's doing side B. I have to figure this out right now on the spot. It's like, you know the character's kit. There's no more buffs or nerfs in the game. Whether or not you run into a Captain Falcon every single day or not, doesn't really matter. You should know how characters' moves work for the most part. You don't have to know all the frame data of everything, but the ones that are like the main ones, like Falco's up tilt, for example, or if it's Captain Falcon side B or going for grab, or if it's his, I don't know, Marth forward tilt or shield breaker or like dancing blade. Those are the types of moves you should know to say, okay, so if he goes for like, I won't even say like fair. Does fair have any landing leg? Does downer have any landing leg? Right? Does this have any landing or end leg on the move like this? And why is it like 35 frames? It's like minus 35 on shield. If you do the whole thing, it's like minus 40. So if you see that come out, if someone's like, let's say, running up and going like this and turning around going like that, you should know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and punish the down tilt because they're going to move out of the way and go for something that's super punishable. Like if he was to do this to you, you have time to run up and F smash him or run up and charge an up smash. And
I'm glad you mentioned that because I played this Fox earlier today and he kept doing I want to say maybe it was his forward air, maybe it was his down air, and then he would land and I would try to punish it, but I couldn't, and he would just jab me right away.
So I don't know the landing leg on his down air, but if he does like a rising down air, I'm pretty sure it's close to legless. I'm not sure exactly what it is. His nair is basically legless. It's -2/3 on shield, which just means you have to parry it to do anything, and even then, you probably still aren't going to get a punish on it. But yeah, if he's just doing like they'll typically do, I'd say nair or maybe down air, then immediately jab. So if that's what was happening to you, you say to yourself, okay, so how do I punish multi jabs? There's 2 ways technically, or there's multiple ways, but 2 main ways. If you're getting multi jab and they're right up on you, if you're in shield, for example, after 11 hits, you can roll through them. If you don't know that, now
11 hits.
Yes, after 11 hits. I will say right now, you'll never count it out in real time. Be like, oh, that was 11, time to roll. You're going to just try and roll, and once you're able to roll, you probably will get through. Just make sure that you don't double roll and then like botch the punish. So that's just one thing you can roll through after 11 hits, and then you can get like an F smash or a dash attack or whatever you want as your punish. Or if they're just in front of you, let's say they go for their multi-jab and the space is actually quite good and you can't roll through because you're like somewhere here or maybe like here, for example, and they push you away from them, you could just go like this and then go for a PK fire, like just walk away, PK fire them, right? The other option too, if you're really quick, is if they are going for multi-jab, you could, actually I don't even know if Ness would do this, some characters would, but you could jump over the whole thing and come down with a down air and hit him on the top, or hit him from the top. Right? If a character has like a down air into some sort of combo, so like down air into up tilt, down air into up smash, down air into nair or up air or something, then you could do that.
At 60, I can get that.
So then, yeah, that's another thing too. If you know your confirms and your windows, then it's like, okay, based on the mistake they are currently making, and this is something you can go to the lab or you can write down for yourself, based on the mistake that they're currently making, what is the best punish that I can get, provided that the punish can't be a kill. And that's important as well.
Yeah.
If you can kill them, then just kill them. If you can't kill them, because let's say they're at 60 or like 50 or something like that, is PK Fire into a crazy combo better than throwing them off stage, right? Or better than getting a juggle situation or whatever it might be. It might even be PK Fire into a grab and you get a little bit of the best of both worlds. So you should know those things as much as you can. As far as I know as well, I don't think there's a single multi-jab in the game that is safe on shield or relatively safe. They're all super minus on shield. I think the safest one technically might even actually be Falco, because at the end of his multi-jab, he does like a little backflip, so he hurt box shifts away from you, but it's still technically not safe. If you know how to punish it, you can 100%. You could F smash him for it still.
Yeah, because does it push you away or does it push
a bit
me
of both?
away?
It does both, technically. If you're up in the corner like this, so let's say if you're in the corner like this, shielding, it would push me away from you because it's not going to push you off stage.
Yeah.
Right? Actually, you know what? I don't take that back, but I'd say the safest jab probably is actually Byleth, because the hitbox is like 10 miles in front of her. So if it's not Byleth, it could be even Pyramithra, because if the energy shot in front of them or the fire, it pushes pretty far back. But still, even those jabs are not safe, as far as like you can drop shield once you get pushed away and just go for PK Fire and just catch them. I had a Wolf player the other day. It was like actually maybe 2 weeks ago at this point, actually. And he's asking about learning punishes for every type of different thing in the game, or every different type of move in the game. I said you should write them down. So if someone does like a multi-jab, what can you do at 0, at 50, at 100, whatever percent you want to work with? Or if someone does like an F smash or a dash attack, or if they spot dodge or anything like that, what is the best thing that you could do to cover these options? So it's more like a flashcard game where it's like someone shows you a question and you just know the answer because you've practiced this in the past, versus saying I have to think of like a crazy answer or reinvent the wheel on the spot. I would say if you're in that category, that's where you would typically say that you don't know the matchup. When someone says that they do know the matchup, they're typically referring to the fact that, oh, if you do this, I know it's not safe against this. I can go for up B out of shield, or up smash, or grab, or I do have time, let's say, to drop shield and dash grab, for example, right? Depending on what the move is. So it's good to know those different things. And there's access to them everywhere, right? Whether it's videos, like top player videos, or guides, or ultimateframedata.com. There's places to find all this stuff. In my opinion, none of the information about any character is hidden. People are just trying to solve the game. So if you want to find it, you can definitely find it.